Hey everyone, welcome to Pink Tutu Tarot. Today's reading, we're looking at what advice you need in your career right now. What advice do you need to hear? So I've got 3 readings for you. These are cards that came from your reading. I've already done the readings. I do the intro afterwards. So group 1, your card is card number 31, and it's Groundhog Spirit, Time to Let Go. I'll just give you a chance to take a look at that card. Group 2, your card is number 15, Cow Spirit. The miracles are endless. And then group 3, your card is number 66, and it's White Raven Spirit. Trust in the magic. All right. So whatever's calling to you, might be the picture, might be the words, might be the number of the card, whatever's calling to you, whichever one is pulling at you, trust that. Go down to the description box, click on the timestamp for the reading you want to watch. It'll take you straight there. You may feel called to more than one, and that's okay, because there may be messages, cross messages that are meant for you. So trust what you're feeling. Go where you feel you're meant to go, and I will see you there. Thanks, y'all. Hi, group 1. So today we're looking at advice for you, the advice you need to hear as it pertains to your career, your work, your job, whatever it is you do for a living or do primarily. So here's your primary card. You've already seen it. I haven't. All right, we've got Groundhog Spirit, Time to Let Go. Well, let me see what Spirit wants to tell you about this. Hold on one second. They're telling me that there's some feelings you have about the work you do, or it could be about where you work, but there's some feelings that you have that you need to learn to let go of, that you need to find a way around. It it's easy to, and it's not to say, maybe you do have a workplace that is not the best, or there's people around you who aren't great. Maybe there are lots of things in your environment that you wish would change. But what Spirit's giving me with this card, at least, and we'll see what else they have to say, but the change starts with you. You have to change the way you're thinking about what you're experiencing. There's more to it than you realize. There are other things that may have to change as well, as far as, it's possible, and we'll see, what they say about, maybe you need to change jobs. It's entirely possible. But unless you change your mindset, unless you change the way you are reacting to the experiences you're having, these experiences will just follow you to another place, to another job. So they're really encouraging you, first and foremost, to start there. To let go of the thoughts, to let go of the opinions, to let go of the feelings you have that are actually changeable, that you can change them, and find a way to put a new spin on them. It's not saying, well, this bad experience is good and trying to convince yourself of that, but maybe there's a way to look at it from a new perspective. Maybe there's something you need to learn from what you're going through, or understand about someone else's actions that might shed a new light on your situation. So we'll start with that, but let's get some tarot cards down. Let's see what other advice they have for you. And if you get messages from this reading that resonate, that help you, I hope you'll give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment, whatever it may be. It really does help me know that we are connecting. And if there's a specific reading topic you want me to cover, drop that down in the comments as well. I love to get your ideas. I love to get your ideas. Okay. All right. Your first card is the Lovers. Then we have King of Cups. And the King of Swords. And I'm going to pull one card here from the Lenormand deck. And your card is the Ring. Okay. All right, give me just a second. I want to take these cards in. I'm going to listen for some initial messages for you from Spirit, and then we'll talk through what's going on here and what your advice is, what advice you need to hear right now from Spirit about your career. So hold on one second, y'all. They're talking to me now about needing to release some fears that you have. And these might be fears you don't even really recognize or acknowledge at this moment. But if you sit with the idea that there might be something that is holding you back, that is fear-based, and ask yourself that question: if I'm afraid of something and that thing is holding me back, what is it? Because what they're giving me is that right now you might not know what it is that your fear is, what it is you're afraid of. But if you take the time, it will come to you. And overcoming this fear will help you start a new cycle in your career, in the work you do, regardless of whether you stay or leave or make a change, don't make a change. Physically, as far as your job, your workplace, it will help you end a cycle. It will help you end a cycle if you can work through a fear you have about what you do, where you're going, your own worth, whatever it may be. It will really help you. Okay, so your first card is the Lover's card. They're actually telling me that it's important for you right now to make a commitment. The first being a commitment to yourself, to your own personal growth. Again, going back, spending some time and sitting with your thoughts, your feelings, how you've reacted to certain things at work, how certain things have affected you, what triggers you, what makes you angry, what makes you happy. Sit with these things and try to understand them and understand why. And it goes back to also, learning to let go of patterns and thoughts and reactions that might not be serving you. So this is a commitment to yourself and to your self-growth so that you can break a cycle that you are in. The second thing they're saying, they're actually wanting you to commit to your workplace, which means not to make any rash decisions, to jump ship if you're currently in a job. If you're looking for a job, focus on that commitment to yourself and what you need to know and need to learn, and what you want going forward. This isn't to say, I don't get that they're saying you need to stay where you are forever, but until you can work out what's going on within you, the challenges you're experiencing are going to follow you, even if you go somewhere new. So commit to your workplace, commit to the job you have. Tell yourself you're going to make this work and figure out how to do it with your own self as the only catalyst for change, because you can't change anyone else. You can only change yourself. Once you are able to break the cycle that you're, excuse me, sorry. Once you're able to break the cycle you're in, where you are, then it's like the door's open and you can change or not change, do whatever you want, Okay. Your next card is the King of Cups. And again, they're giving me this message of trying to be, and this may sound overly simplistic, but trying to be happy with where you are and what you're doing. And you may say, oh, it's such a toxic place. People are terrible to me. They overwork me. They underpay me. You may have a million reasons to not be happy. They're giving me find that one reason to be happy, to be joyful about something in your workplace. Maybe there's one coworker you really get along with. Maybe there's one part of the job you really, really enjoy. Maybe you love the easy commute or that you get to work from home, whatever it may be. Put your attention and your focus on what does make you happy. And then one day at a time, try to let that expand. Even if there is, for example, a boss or a coworker or something that really irritates you and makes you want to jump ship, makes you want to run away. Try to find one thing every day that you do like about them. Maybe it's something as simple as, all right, they got nice shoes. But it could be something very simple. It doesn't have to be, this, huge revelation. But over time, when you start to look at people differently in tiny, tiny ways, little by little, you start to understand who they are, why they act the way they act, why they respond the way they respond. You start to understand them a little bit better by just opening yourself up to the experience of them in tiny, tiny ways. So they're advising you to do that. And then last but not least, we have the King of Swords. Okay. Well, they're telling me the other advice I have for you is to speak your mind and be honest, but don't be rash. Don't be overly harsh. In other words, if something triggers you, something upsets you, don't just blurt it out in an angry way and cut down your boss or cut down your coworkers or a client or if you need to scream and yell in private, do that. But allow it to sink in, allow yourself to process it a little bit. But then, yes, speak your mind. Set an appointment with your boss to have a calm conversation about what you're going through, about what you are experiencing, because you may find out that number one, this person didn't see things the way you are seeing them, didn't understand, even though you may think they do, didn't understand that something is upsetting you or something isn't going well for you. But you do have to do it with a calm mind, a calm heart. It has to come from a place of, committing to your growth and letting go of the voice that just blurts out or gets angry or feels very triggered. That can be within you. If you allow yourself to process that and then find the time and the space to calmly discuss in a very honest and frank but calm way what you're experiencing, what you're going through, what you need, you may find that little by little, or even very quickly, frankly, the entire experience starts to change for you where you are. And the outcome of this is the Ring card. And this is about breaking a cycle, because this is something you have experienced over and over and over, maybe within the same job and maybe with different jobs that you've had similar experiences. You leave the job, you go to another one, eventually it turns into a similar type of thing. And so you leave that job, you find another one, same thing happens, maybe slightly different people, different situations, but you end up feeling the same. And that's because the challenge is in you, right? The universe will continue to keep sending you the same situation. You will keep finding this situation everywhere you go, every job you take on, until you've learned to break the cycle. And you can't change other people. You can't do it. But you can change yourself, and you can do that by committing to learning your own triggers, your own fears, your own reactions that you may sometimes later wish you could take back, by focusing on the good things, even if they start out very, very tiny, and by calmly, rationally speaking your mind, sharing in a very, mature, calm, collected way what's not working for you, what you need help with, what you are experiencing that is contributing to a less than ideal situation at work. All right, group one, I hope that helps. I hope that gives you some insight and a little bit of homework, it sounds like, as well. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a great day. Bye, y'all. Hey, group two. All right, we're going to take a look at what advice you need to hear right now about your career. So, your initial card is Cow Spirit. The miracles are endless. Beautiful card. All right, give me one sec. I just want to hear what Spirit wants to tell you about this card. One sec. Well, first they're saying, of course, that not of course, but it does say that miracles are endless, but they're telling me that you are approaching a miraculous time within yourself and within your career. So there's something that has changed in you or is changing in you that has affected your career. And if it hasn't yet, it will. And it will continue to. One more second. They're telling me the miracle starts within you. You have made this happen. So know that. They're asking you to continue to believe. They're saying they're saying most of the time you do believe. You have a lot of trust that things are going to work out with your job, with your career, that you'll make the money you need to make, that you'll progress in the way you're meant to. But every once in a while you slip off and you think, I don't know, maybe I'm doing the wrong thing, maybe I'm on the wrong path, maybe I have, the wrong expectations for my future, that sort of thing. You start to doubt yourself and what you're doing. And they're encouraging you, they're advising you to lift yourself up at those moments, to remember that even in the quiet moments when things don't appear to be happening, nothing big seems to be changing or going on around you. It doesn't feel like any progress is being made. They're saying progress is being made. You just can't always see it. They're showing me, they're talking a little bit about the cow. this is going in a weird direction, but they're talking about, as the cow produces milk, you don't see it happening, right? It does happen, and it happens naturally and in its own time, and the cow makes its milk. And then we have, milk, cheese, whatever from it, or it feeds its babies from it. But it's a process that happens, a miraculous process that happens without us being able to visually, truly be able to watch the process. In the same way, you're being asked to trust that something is working in your favor, even though you may not be able to see how or what or how, may not be able to see it. They're also talking about the flowers here and about how flowers need time to grow and they can't be forced. When a flower comes up out of the ground as a bud, if you force it open because you want to see what it looks like in full bloom, you actually kill it, you destroy it. But if you're patient and you allow that miraculous process to unfold in its own time, it becomes a beautiful, beautiful flower. So those are messages for you, advice. Allow things to unfold in their own time. Trust that some miraculous things are happening within you and within what you do, your career, your work. Miraculous things are coming to you, even if you can't see it, even if you think there's no way. Nothing big's going to change for me. They're saying you might be surprised. You can't see everything. You don't know how everything is going behind the scenes right now. All right, so let's get some tarot cards. Let's see what else they have to tell you. Your first card is Five of Pentacles. Then we have Death and Rebirth. And finally, Strength. Wonderful. You have 2 major arcana cards out of 3 cards. That's big. That means something big is happening. That alone is a big message in itself, even though they're advice cards. We'll pick one Norman card here for you. And your card is Gentleman. Okay. All right. So give me just a second. I just want to connect with the cards. I'm going to listen for some initial messages for you from Spirit. And then we'll talk about what's going on here and get you the advice you need. So hold on one sec, y'all. The first thing they're saying is you have to believe. You have to believe. Yes, good things can happen to you and for you if you don't believe. But it's that power of belief and that power of trust that allows much bigger things to open up for you and happen in a much quicker time frame. So your belief is important. Is it vital to have a good life, to have, a good career? No. Good things will happen anyway. But you won't always be happy with it because you'll always feel like, well, I feel like there should be more. I feel like there's more for me out there. You're always going to feel like you haven't quite tapped into the full picture of what your career, what your work will look like. Having that belief that miraculous things are coming, that miraculous things are happening behind the scenes, whether you can see it or not, that belief builds that powerful energy around you that helps attract these things to you in a much bigger way, in a much more complete and full way, in a much faster way. All right. So let's look at your cards. Your first card is the Five of Pentacles. And if you notice at the top, I don't know if you can see it, it has the word worry on it. What Spirit is saying is don't worry. Your worries are getting in the way. Your worries are getting in the way of what you need to do. And they're getting in the way of what needs to come to you, if that makes sense. It's this feeling that things aren't going quite the way you want them to, even if they're temporary. Because I do get that you do have belief a lot of the time, but then you have these down moments where, sometimes you just can't shake it. You just can't shake it. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing wrong? Am I doing the right thing? Am I on the right path? Am I going the right direction? Especially if you're working for yourself, that can be an especially difficult worry to shake. But Spirit is saying the advice we have for you, do everything you can to shake that. Because what it does is it builds this wall of resistance. It puts this wall up that makes it so much harder for the beautiful, miraculous things to come to you. It's like growing flowers that need the sunshine to grow, but putting them in a box, a cardboard box, and hoping that somehow the nutrients they get from the sun will make it through the cardboard. Can they survive in there? Maybe. Will they thrive in there? No, because it's too hard. It's too hard. You know, you'd have to have the hardiest of plants to survive. You know, if it needs the sun, to deny it the sun will limit its growth. And your worry does something similar. It denies that power that's trying to get through. It builds resistance to it. It's like putting a cardboard box around yourself and pushing all that wonderful power, all those miracles away, even temporarily. You know, if most of the time you believe and you do that sometimes, just try your best to release it, because even temporarily, it pushes it away, and then it's got to work its way back to you. Slows things down. It lowers the power. It makes it harder. Doesn't mean it can't happen. It's just taking longer. Do it that way. All right, your next card is Death and Rebirth. And they're really showing me and pointing out, if you can see on the card, how this, they portray death as a phoenix rising from the ashes. Let me hear what they want to say about this. They're saying that during this time, you need to trust that some things need to fall away before you can rise up to the next level. So, and this doesn't matter if, you know, if you're working for a company, if you are unemployed and looking for work, you work for yourself, the message is the same. There are some things, it may be some thoughts you have, right? Some worries you have, some doubts you have. It may be some people in your life or habits that you have, fears that get in the way, some things that need to fall away, that need to really be kind of eliminated from your life in some way. And it feels more like it's how you perceive things than actual physical things. But if there are toxic things in your world, toxic people, toxic substances, toxic environment, try to eliminate those as much as you can. Try to take care of yourself and your own growth. If this is what you want, if what you want is to be the phoenix rising from the ashes to a height you've never seen before, to a power you've never felt before or experienced before, to success you've never had before, it will require that you allow some things to die away. And it might just be the things that hold you back, the thoughts of being small, the thoughts of not being worthy, the thoughts or the beliefs that you can only do so much because of XYZ. Let those things go. You are much more powerful than you realize. And there are some big, big things happening behind the scenes for you, waiting for you to just be ready for them. And then we have the Strength card. And they're wanting to remind you of your own strength. And they're wanting you to remind yourself of your own strength. And it's a strength that is an inner strength that builds you up, that gives you a higher belief in yourself. But they're also showing me there's something about outer strength as well, whether that be exercising, if that's healthy for you, you know, the routine, talk to a doctor before you do anything. But they're talking about movement, moving your body, you know, get outside, go for a walk if you can, allow your energy to invigorate rather than be stagnant. If you spend most of your day sitting at your desk, find reasons to get up and move around. If you find yourself, if you work from home and you're always inside and you're always in the same place, doing the same things. It's like shake up that energy. You need this outer energetic strength as well. You need to tap into that as well as your inner strength. They're giving me that both of these are important to, it will help your overall mindset, which helps your overall power, which helps bring these miracles your way. It will help your career progress much more quickly. All right. Last but not least, we have the gentleman. Let me just see. They're telling me that as this happens, what's going to happen for you is you are going to tap into this leadership energy. And I know in this world, you don't have to be a man to be a leader. It's just the card that they gave me and the message that's coming with it. I think more so because of this tiger behind the gentleman, more so than it being a man. But the man card in Lenormand does represent, that energetic, that active energy. And that's it. That's what's coming for you also. But they're giving me this. What will happen is you will tap into your own power and your own success and your own leadership potential by just following this advice. That's one of the big miracles that will come. And it doesn't sound like much, tapping into my leadership potential. What does that really mean? It means you're going to rise up in the ranks. It means you're going to become a leader in your field if that's what you want. It means that you're going to have success you've not had before. It means you're going to build this fire within yourself that is unquenchable and unstoppable. That's what it means. So trust the message, trust the miracles. Go for it, y'all. Go for it. You have it in you and it's waiting for you to just believe and tap into. All right, group 2, thank you so much for being here. I hope this resonated. If it did, I hope you'll give the video a like, a thumbs up or subscribe. It helps the channel get out to other people so that they get messages they need as well. But more importantly, it helps me know that our energies are connecting. Also, if there are readings, topics you would like to hear, drop that in the comments, or drop any other message in the comments. I read them all, but I'd love to hear your suggestions. They're always helpful. So thank you so much for being here and have a great day. Bye-bye. Hey, group 3. All right, we're going to take a look at the advice you need to hear when it comes to your career, your job, your work, whatever you do. All right, so let's take a look at your card. You've already seen it, but I haven't. Your card is White Raven Spirit. Trust in the magic. Beautiful. All right, give me 1 second. I just want to hear what Spirit wants to tell you about this card. We're talking first about intelligence, and specifically, they're bringing to mind the intelligence of the raven. There's more to them than most people realize. There's a lot going on within them. It's intelligence. It's a connection to spirit in a sense. It's an awareness that not every animal has, and then not every person realizes this bird has. The white, because at least I know of most ravens being black, is significant as well. Let me just listen to what they want to say about that. They're telling me white is a spiritual color. So there is a spiritual aspect either to you, to what you need to do, or to the work you do, maybe all of the above. But there's also a uniqueness. So if you're not obviously you're somewhat spiritual, you're here watching a tarot video, right? So there's something about that this reading will probably get into. But there's something about that is important. But they're also talking about creativity and what makes you unique. A white raven being unique. Interesting. They're also showing me these berries, and I had an image of that exact berry come to me this morning. Let's see what they want to say. Again, they're bringing a spiritual message. So if you are a spiritual type, and especially if you have a spiritual aspect in some way or a healing aspect to your work, then this reading is most definitely for you. If you don't, trust in the messages anyway, because there may be something spiritually going on within you or within your work that you need to be more aware of. Again, they're saying trust in the magic. There's more going on with you than most other people realize. And you probably already know this, but Spirit is letting you know that they know it. And they're wanting to help you tap into that even more. Even more. All right, let's get some tarot cards down. Let's see. They're talking about releasing it, not releasing it in a way that is like get rid of it, but they're talking about allowing it to come out. Allow other people to see it a little bit more. People you trust, the right people. Don't be afraid to let your light shine, or let what makes you unique shine. Your first card is the Four of Wands. Then we have Strength. And the Tower. How about that? 2 out of the 3 cards are major arcana. And I know they're advice cards, but it still signifies something big is coming about. So one more card. I'm going to pull a Norman card for you. And your card is the Snake. All right. Okay. Give me just a second. I want to take these cards in. I'm going to listen for some initial messages for you from Spirit, and then we'll talk about what's going on here. Okay, so just a second, y'all. The first thing they're talking about is releasing any need you might have to hide. Hide what you do, hide who you are, hide your spiritual side. If that is something that you shy away from telling people about. Hiding your creativity or what makes you unique. There's an element here of there's something about you that makes you very special, and something that you actually quite love about yourself or about who you are. You're not telling anybody. You're not allowing it out of you, at least not as much as you could be. And again, they're saying, of course, whatever it is, it needs to be within a safe place. You don't want to tell people, very special things about yourself, or share very special things about yourself with people who are just going to knock you down, because that may hurt your confidence right now. But within that safe place, there are people in your life that you do trust, but you're not trusting with this. Not like you could or you should. And there is this element of hiding your light. And your light needs to shine. You need to let it out. There's magic in your light. And you're keeping it all to yourself, so let it out. Show the world who you are, because it will change how you see what you do, in your career and your work. It will change how you see what you do. It'll change how others see what you do in a positive way. It may even change what you do. You may even find yourself moving in different directions because you no longer feel confined by this fear of being yourself. Interesting, interesting. And my ears are absolutely buzzing and ringing right now, which means your spirit guides are in close, talking to me. They're always close. They're always sharing messages with me, but if you're someone who you know your ears ring when you know someone in the spirit world is close to you, then of course this message or this reading will have some significance for you as well. Also, they're telling me to pay attention to when things like your ears ring, or when you like your hairs stand on end, or you get prickly feelings, not because you've lost circulation or anything medical, but every once in a while you get like, feels like a poke in the back or in the foot or wherever, and then it just goes away. Pay attention to those. It's somebody on the other side, spirit guide, loved one, someone who's helping you and working with you, who's trying to get your attention. All right, they wanted me to mention that. So, okay, so your first card is Four of Wands, and it says completion. They're telling me you've gone through a lot of the hard work. It's time to start celebrating yourself a little bit more. Put it out there. Share your light with the world. And it's interesting because the Four of Wands doesn't usually have an actual fire, even though wands do represent fire. It's interesting how this card looks because it has fire in it, and it also has what looks to me like the Wheel of Fortune. And it's like this fire that's burning within you. When you share that light, your Wheel of Fortune turns in a positive direction. Even though this isn't the Wheel of Fortune card at all, it's the Four of Wands, but they're wanting you to celebrate your own light and to share it with the world, with whoever you can, to stop hiding it, because it's meant to be seen, it's meant to be known. And once you do, you're going to start to see your fortunes change. You're going to start to see your luck change. All right. Then we have the Strength card. They're wanting you to trust in your own strength, but they're talking here specifically. They're showing me this Moon card. It's interesting how they're giving me two cards in one card. I love how Spirit works. But they're highlighting the moon on this card, and the wolf that's howling at the moon. Not typical for a strength card. They're wanting you to honor your own strength and trust your own strength, and to know that if you put yourself out there, you will only grow stronger. But let me listen to what they're wanting to tell you about this moon, because I feel this is significant. Talking a little bit about the moon cycles, which is interesting. Take this if it resonates, because it might not for everyone. This might be a little bit too esoteric for some people. But they're wanting you to pay attention to the moon cycles, where you have the most energy, where you feel the most fatigued, where you have the most optimism, where you have the least, when you're feeling more doubt about yourself. You start tracking these based on the cycle of the moon, the different phases of the moon. You may find some patterns that show up, and you can then recognize when you need to step back, pull your energy back a little bit, or when you need to go within, pamper yourself, do what you can to work with the higher positive, energies, or to feed your soul a little bit when energies are going to be lower. If we leave it all to chance, and just when it comes, it comes, when it happens, we're not quite as prepared. So they're actually giving me this, try to track the cycles, the phases of the moon. And it's easy to do. There's apps that will give you, I think even Susan Miller, she's with Astrology Zone, has an app that will give you the different phases of the moon every day. but I'm sure there's tons of them, where you can track the phases of the moon and then just keep a quick, you only have to write one line. Today I felt empowered and the moon was this. Today I felt depressed and I didn't want to get out of bed and the moon was this. Try tracking that for a few months and see where the patterns show up. That might really help you. Now, if that's too esoteric, too woo-woo for you, stick with the message of the strength card and believe in your own strength. Build up your own inner strength and trust that you are strong enough for whatever comes your way. Once you start to shine your light, your weirdness, when you start howling at the moon and becoming who you really are, showing the world who you really are, because you already are that person, you will find the world will embrace you. You may also find that some people don't like it, but you've got the strength to get through that, because it won't really matter. You already have it. It's an advice card to remind yourself of that strength, to tap into it. It's already there. But mostly they're giving me, just put yourself out there, put it out there. But again, if it makes sense to you, the moon cycle thing might really be a key for you. All right. So then we have the Tower card. Let me just see what they want to say here about this. First thing they're saying, don't be afraid of change. Change happens. It can happen suddenly. It can happen slowly. Learn to be more adaptable when it comes to change, because change is coming for you. What they're giving me is it's not sudden change, even though the Tower represents sudden change. But change is coming for you. This is a slow change, but they're talking about knocking out, this is metaphorical, knocking out the walls that are up around you that are no longer serving you. Letting the light in. If you notice the fire, the tower is crumbling, the walls are coming down, this fire is out, right? The light is shining just like it is here. Knock down the walls. Don't be afraid of change, because change is coming, but it's positive change. It's not sudden change. It is good change. Being the Tower card typically usually means sudden change, but they're talking about really the changes within you, and can be as sudden or as slow as you want it to be. But their advice for you is knock down those walls. Not just to let the light in, but to let your light out. You've been holding it in too long. You're ready now. It's time now. You're ready to blossom and to grow and to show the world your unique brand of magic, and to show them what's on the inside that they're not seeing, that they're not aware of, how much is going on within you. Let them know. People you trust, start there. But knock down those walls. You could start small if you want, but start somewhere. All right, so then we have the Snake card, and this is, they're telling me what happens here when you follow their advice. This is the outcome, is that you will shed your skin. You will become brand new. You will lose your fear, right? The snake is powerful. The snake may lie low for a long time, and that's what you have been kind of doing, but it sheds its skin and it's ready to pounce at the right moment. And now is the moment, right? For you to at least start the process to get here. It's a very, the snake can be often perceived as a negative, but I don't see it that way at all. It's such a powerful animal that is often underestimated and feared for the wrong reasons. Don't let your fear get in the way of your power. Your life is about to change if you can knock down those walls and let your light out, shed your skin. You're going to find yourself feeling much more powerful than you ever have before. You're going to find yourself getting respect and acknowledgement like you never have before. They just said to me, it's a glorious time for you. This is what's coming. It's what's coming. So trust in the magic. Trust in your magic and your light. All right, group 3. That's what I've got for you. I hope that helps. I hope it resonates. If it does help, if it did help, if it did resonate, please give the video a thumbs up. It doesn't cost you anything. It takes less than a second, but it helps me know that our energies are resonating. It does get my channel out so that more people can find these readings, can get messages that they need to hear. It's free for you, and it really helps me out as well. But also, if you want to drop me a comment, tell me what your magic is. I would love to hear. Or if there are any topics that you want to suggest for future readings, I would love those as well. But mostly, I just want to thank you for being here. So have a great day, y'all. Bye-bye.